All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show here on the Strickland YouTube channel, Strickland Twitter. And if you're listening to this today after Strickland Podcast Network, I am Sam. I am soon to be joined by somebody. But the Knicks win Game 4 against the Boston Celtics, 121-113, in yet another comeback effort by the Knicks, down by 14 early in the third quarter. And they pulled this one out. They kind of dug deep in that late third quarter. Jalen Brunson really got it going in that third quarter. I think he had, I want to say, around 18 points in that third quarter. And he finished the game with 39. He really dug deep, gave us an awesome game. I'll go through the stat line as we continue our conversation here tonight. But yeah, this was a great game by not only Jalen Brunson, but Mikal Bridges. And I want to say the whole starting lineup, like they really found their groove in that late third quarter and then into the fourth quarter. And then from there on, there's really no looking back. 3-1. And hey, I am joined now by one Schwinn. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, hi, Schwinn.
Could add at the same time. What's up? Let's go.
One more win.
We did it. Me and you.
Yeah, we did. Cheering them on from my bedroom.
It was all us. That was awesome. That was great. I'll tell you the best part about this win. The Knicks got a horrible whistle in this game.
Horrible
whistle in this game. They got a horrible whistle.
Awful. They sent Scott Foster the extender to like bring this back to Boston too.
No, the Knicks had to take this game. They had to take it because they were not getting shit. I thought the officiating, like honestly, from the start to the finish was terrible. I thought it was very much not in favor of the Knicks. And you know what? Credit to them because there were multiple points in this game
where they could have gave up.
Yeah, not just give up, but you could lose your cool and just, it takes ball. And look, like, hopefully Tatum's okay. He was on fucking fire tonight. So, it could have been like you kind of lose your focus for a couple minutes and the game could have been out of reach, but they didn't. They stayed in it. And they were great tonight, man. Like I thought, they weren't great from the beginning, obviously. OG had a terrible start to the game. I don't know what the hell Josh Hart was doing for large parts of the first half. Cat had a lot of sloppy, just cat type turnovers, whatever. Like they none of them played a perfect game other than maybe Brunson. But they all contributed. That second half, like, look, again, obviously the Tatum injury sucks, but the Knicks, I mean, they took that game and they took that game before that injury. So the injury to me is
and
like,
they were kind of like in control at that point. Like they were up
dominating.
9.
Yeah.
And they looked really good defensively, offensively. They were getting to their spots and doing whatever they wanted.
The Celtics had nothing for them in this game, in that second half. They had nothing for them. Once the Knicks actually started playing offense good and, like, got up and, did this cool thing where they get the ball across half court.
In a timely manner.
Yeah, in a
to be
timely
able to
manner.
set up shot.
Very good. But, yeah, look, like, obviously, and we will talk about him. Jalen Brunson's fucking amazing. But Mikal Bridges' shot making in that second half, and especially to start the fourth quarter, that was huge. Because you know what? I'll tell you this. I thought, and I probably would have, not going to lie, I would have just played Brunson the whole fucking game.
I thought he was going to start the fourth quarter with Brunson.
I thought for sure he was. And obviously he didn't. Mikal was basically trading buckets with Tatum at the start of that fourth quarter to just keep us exactly, right there, to not let the game get away from us or anything. That was huge. And again, like, you've got to say, and I know because when the fucking starting lineup came out, I'm sure I know everybody on Twitter was like, what the fuck? I internally was like, I want to kill myself. And it didn't look great in the first half. Definitely not to start the game. Definitely not to end the first half. I don't know what the hell happened at halftime. I don't know. I mean, I know a couple things that happened in the second half. He made a really good defensive adjustment. Tibbs did with, he stopped having Brunson hedge and having that, which required Cat to go around the screen. And
that was pissing me off because, like, Tatum was getting wide open looks and he was already scorching.
Yeah, so that was a really good adjustment. Offensively, I think, honestly, for them, half the battle is often just like, if you get the ball up the floor faster, it's harder for defenses to load up on Jalen Brunson, and he's that good that he can make it happen. And he did a great job of just running plays for Mikal, not just having it be the Jalen Brunson show the whole time, which would have been easy because Brunson was on fucking fire in that third quarter. So, and the biggest thing Tibbs did that he deserves a ton of credit for, he rode the hot lineup. He rode the hot lineup in the fourth quarter. He did not fuck around. He did not.
Deuce, Mitch, OG,
he wasn't
Brunson,
like
Mikal.
He wasn't like, I got to get Josh Hart back on the floor right now. Like he kept that lineup in there, and he kept them in there until what, like a minute left or something, minute 10, minute 15 left, something like that. Mm-hmm. So he coached a great second half, and the team gave him. I mean, everybody that played in that second half, I can't say anything bad about any of them. Like, I mean, I guess I'll say one bad thing. I need Karl-Anthony Towns to like look up before he throws an outlet pass. I'm gonna need him to do that a couple of times. Also, Mikal Bridges, maybe don't throw an outlet pass cross court when you're up fucking 8 with like a minute left. That would be nice. Yeah, but other than that, great performance from everybody. I thought OG was great in that second half too. Brunson, obviously,
timely threes.
Yeah, and again, like I'll just keep saying it. Like, I think this is a good matchup for Deuce. I think defensively he can hang with these guys. He can stay in front of them. They don't have the type of ball handlers that give him a ton of problems. And the one guy that I do think he struggles with is Pritchard. And if they want to run their entire offense through Peyton Pritchard, who I know can get scalding hot, but yeah, you're gonna have to live with that. Like if that's what they want to do, if they want to make it a Pritchard game, that's fine. So yeah, just shout out to everybody on the Knicks, the coaching staff, and yeah, again, and also Scott Foster, go fuck yourself. That was a disgrace. I can't believe how atrocious of a officiated game this was.
That was awful. I mean, it was kind of poetic that Jalen Brunson had this type of game. After Drew Holiday had his comments earlier today, I'm sure you saw his comments about, we got to keep Jalen Brunson away from the free throws and such. And, Jalen Brunson gave them work today, and he didn't even go to the free throw line that much. Like, he gave them straight buckets. And it was on Drew's head. It was on Derek White's head. It was on Porzingis' head. It was on Al Horford's head. It was on all their heads. So I just love when a player is able to respond like that. And we kind of knew Jalen Brunson would. What was it, 39 and 12 with like one turnover tonight? Like, absolutely masterful.
What can this guy make fucking end game meaningless free throws so we can get a 40 piece here? Fucking kidding me? He did this shit against Indiana last year too.
Yep, I remember that.
Game 2.
Yep.
I think Cat was giving him shit after he missed the first one too. Cat was giving him shit. He deserved it. Fuck you, man.
Oh man. And Mikal kind of like proved me a little bit wrong, because I made a tweet earlier today. I was like, man, I wish the Knicks had someone that can initiate, because I saw a video of Jordan Poole from the 2022 finals against this same kind of Celtics, not exact same Celtics team, but a similar version of this Celtics team. But Jordan Poole was cooking against, he was cooking in the second unit. He was cooking next to Steph. And I was like, it'd be nice if Brunson could have someone that can do this with him on the court and, be able to do this when he's on the bench and stuff like that. And lo and behold, Mikal just kind of shut me up today. He was like, here, I got you. Like, this is what you want? I got you. And he was able to do that, cooking in that mid-range. It looked very similar to, how he was cooking during that Christmas Day game. So, shout out to him. I wish he could get into these zones a little bit more often. But hey, I'll take them if they're going to come in big moments like this.
I mean, the big thing to me was, I thought in the first half of game 3, there were multiple times they ran a lot of these same actions for him, coming off like these screens at the top, and he had opportunities to get into shots, and he just took way too long. And then there was one play where Jaylen Brown was able to recover to him, and then he turned it over. There was another one where he like kind of got locked up because he took it too, like he went too far into the paint. And then Cornette was right in front of him. Then he turned it over. Like, he just was way more decisive today. I thought he was really, really good. And, he had to operate in some tight confines because, if you watch it, there's actually multiple times where he actually has the corner, but then, it is what it is, because they're not actually defending Josh Hart. His man is just like there under the rim. And he's like, okay, I guess I'll have to take this weird spinning fucking whirling dervish shot that apparently is a shot for some reason. But yeah, dude, he was, and I mean, those are shots that Boston to a certain extent is going to like give you and live with, and rightfully so. But yeah, I thought, I mean, what can you say? It was crazy. The easiest shot he had is the one he fucking missed. at the end of the fourth. That was the easiest wide open fucking nobody in front of him shot he had. He missed that. Also, I need him to maybe never take one of those sprinting up, like catch the ball threes. I don't trust that.
Never.
Take that one out of your repertoire, buddy.
Never. But yeah, shout out to ZMP323 with the $5 super chat saying the East is ours. Looking like if both us and the Pacers could get things done, it's looking like a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference semis, where our season tragically ended in 7, where our whole team basically died. So it would be nice to really head into a series against the Pacers healthy for once, and we'll see where things go. Hopefully we keep up with their hot shooting, because Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard, Miles Turner apparently all decide they don't want to miss when shooting 3. So that's fun. But yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah. Kenny Mears says Tibbs deserves a lot of credit for sticking with Mitch and Deuce as long as he did. Tatum was making insane shots, and the Knicks simply didn't blink. McCall at the elbow has become an early fourth quarter staple. Yeah, they've been running this stuff for him a bunch now for the whistleblower. So shout out to McCall for earning his way into the good graces of Tom Thibodeau to the extent that they're running plays for him now. Just keep making shots. That would be fantastic. He made 1 3 today. I have no clue what is going on with this 3-point shot. I'm just done trying to figure it out. Even if he makes enough mid-range shots, I'm not going to care. So, and also, you know what? He you're going to talk about the shot making, whatever with him. I thought, 1, he played the entire second half. 2, his defensive effort in that second half was wild. Look at how many different players he got switched onto at various points. And 3, one thing I think he's rightfully gets criticized for at times, and I've been critical of him for it before he was a Knick, since he's been a Knick. Terrible rebounder. I thought his rebounding in that fourth quarter was fucking great. He was attacking the glass. He was boxing.
All the starters just somehow locked in. Like, everyone that touched the court in that fourth quarter just locked in.
Yeah, they had to. They had to take this game because Tatum was hitting fucking insane shit.
Tatum was hitting shit. White was hitting stuff. Yeah. And then the refs weren't.
In the first half? I think
he had like 5 in the first half. He had like 7 for the game.
And it's just and you weren't getting anything close to an even whistle. I mean, I still couldn't get over
Scott
Tatum
Foster one.
Well, the one that Tatum doubled. Okay, yeah, you're the one with Josh Hart where Tatum or Brown's sprinting up the court. He because he can't actually, he dribbles like me, so he has to stare at the ball. He just crashes into Josh Hart, and that. 1, somehow gets called a block, and 2, the Knicks rightfully challenge it, and then 3, somehow they just stick with the play, like the call, which was fucking insane.
Bizarre.
I think at the worst, you have to turn that into a no call. You just turn that into a no call. The fact that they stuck with a foul was ridiculous. It also made Josh Hart have to go to the bench because he had 5 fouls,
which kind of worked in our favor.
Yeah, it ended up working, but obviously, you have to deal with that. That would have sent Brown to the bench with 5 fouls, which maybe that might have hurt us. So maybe
that would have helped the Celtics anyways, because Brown is brutal.
Yeah, his aggro steroid energy wasn't working out well for him.
Dog, I feel so vindicated because that tweet I made over the weekend about him being corny.
He's mad corny.
He is the corniest NBA player.
That quote, he had a couple after the last game that I was like, bro, what the
fuck? The one that got me pissed was the one about the paint. It's like,
nobody in the league gets into the paint like I do. I'm like, that's actually like your entire problem as a team, and also for you specifically. But yeah, like, so you had that ridiculous call by Scott Foster, and then the one that drove me, I mean, absolutely nuts, was the Tatum and one, which should have been a double dribble.
Dog.
I was like, all right, I can see how you missed the double dribble there, in all honesty. I can like that missing that piece of it didn't piss me off. What pissed me off is the and one, because that was right after, I think, or it might have been right before OG's layup that he got blatantly shoved in the back of. And I mean, that was crazy. I was just like, I don't even understand how you're calling this game. Like, and it was, I mean, it was bad because even like Richard Jefferson and Doris Burke were like, whoa, that's
the Knicks aren't really getting a fair whistle.
This doesn't seem like a fair whistle. I'm like, oh, congratulations, Doris Burke. Welcome to the series.
Thank you for being unbiased for the first time in your life as a so-called grown-up Knicks fan.
That was wild. But yeah, look, for them to overcome all of that
Balls.
And yeah, I mean, there were points in that first half where you felt like they might break here. Yeah,
Dog,
I mean,
like especially during that run, there was like a string of plays where like Cat was like continuously just getting fouled.
Yes.
And they weren't calling anything. And you could see the frustration just like mounting up, and you were like, oh man, are they about to crack right now? And like Boston's about to just like blow this open. And no, they didn't. And you know, like the Knicks, they kind of had me a little worried during this game for a couple points in time, just because like they would make a run and then they do something stupid, and then Boston would come back and then build the lead back up to double digits. And it was like, are we just going to continue this cycle throughout the whole game, or like are we going to finally like break through? And we finally broke through later in that third quarter, and from there on they just didn't look back. And yeah,
I mean, Brunson was just like, I think it was pretty wild because Tatum, he got going. He kind of cooled off a little bit at the end of the first half. Then he got going again early in the third quarter. And Brunson, like, he started off the quarter a little slow. Like, not like he was, not on like he was invisible or something, but he just wasn't like pushing too much. But I think he sensed like, all right, I gotta get us back in this game because Tatum is on one right now. And he carried us back into that game, man, one way or the other. I mean, some of the shots he was making, I can't even say anything. Like, he hit that little like scoop fucking layup over Horford.
In between Horford and Porzingis.
That was a crazy shot. I mean, the three hit late in his last field goal, that three over Jaylen Brown was nuts. He hit that floating bullshit, like it was like a fading over his right shoulder fadeaway over over Derek White. That was fucking crazy. Like he was incredible. McCall, obviously we talked about him. Chris Bernard says, also, you're welcome, everyone. Anytime I go to work and the next play they lose, I got to work by half, and then they turned it around at like a couple of dollars or free meals at any pizza place. What we're going to need you to do is take off for the rest of the Knicks playoffs.
Yes.
You'll have to not work on those days. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Hayase Eel says Brunson has Olajuwon's footwork as a guard.
His footwork is crazy. His post work is crazy. Like folks that have been saying, like, all the NBA does is like everyone play. First of all, the lie about everyone that every team plays the same is crazy. Because if you watch the Knicks play, they do not play like any other NBA team. Sometimes I wish they played like other NBA teams, but they do not. They play their own unique style of play. And you saw it today, especially like they have a lot of guys that just will cook in the mid-range, like Brunson and McCall. They just gave the Celtics straight work in the mid-range. And Brunson's post work as a guard, the way he starts like setting up shot from like the 3-point line and will just back dudes down, like Derek White, who's like, he has like 4 or 5 inches on him.
Who is Satan?
It was literally Satan's greatest soldier. And it just gave him work. Him and Drew Holiday.
Yo, take a look at what the great Bansky tweeted today.
Oh, God. What did he tweet now? That guy, me and him have gotten into
He has me blocked, so we're good.
I surprisingly am not blocked by him despite our constant back and forths over the years.
He blocked me because I was just like, how does it feel to be Katie's like fucking servant? Ironic, since
I've called him something way worse than that.
I definitely called him something worse than a servant.
I've called him Katie's slave. So,
well, I think if I said that, it might be a little problematic. So
yeah, I can get away with that.
No one can say anything to you about it.
No,
but I'm sure Donald Trump will find a way. Greg Harvey, he's at between the Nums and UMS. Pretty wild stat. The Knicks are the first team in NBA history to have 3 comeback wins after being down 9+ points at halftime in a single playoff series. Down 16 at halftime in game 1, down 9 in game 2, and down 11 today in the third quarter, or to start the third quarter. By the way, look, this team has its own flaws and issues or whatever. Mm-hmm. But one thing that clearly has not aged well is all of the they're not mentally tough. Last year's
Malik Beasley said that, and the Knicks instantly started locking in the clutch in these playoffs.
Yeah, but it's unbelievably look, it's I I don't want to take away anything from last year's team because last year's team was tough and they were definitely tough. Nobody can deny that. But I think I think a lot of Knicks fans just did this team a disservice all year. Not in terms of like, obviously there's stuff to be frustrated by, rightfully so. But like, I think the constant questioning of their toughness and comparison.
I think
to
last year's team held a lot of nostalgia with a lot of fans.
Yeah, like it's fine.
It took a while for them to wear.
And I love that team, so I'm not, I totally get it. But like, I think people definitely owe this group a bit of an apology because a lot of guys that apparently look, whatever anyone wants to say about Mikal Bridges, I think it's safe to say that at this point that yes, maybe he was not maxing out his effort in the regular season when he found out the game plan for the season was I will be having to run through 700 picks a game while Cat sits and drop. Reasonable business decision by Mikal Bridges. I have no choice but to respect it. But look, they've stepped up here when they've needed to. And I don't want to hear – look, I understand the Tatum injury is terrible, and I understand why that's going to take up a lot of the conversation after this game. But, like, I don't want – anybody that tries to diminish this Knicks victory because he got hurt, they can fuck off. They can fuck
especially
off
this fat son of a bitch, Brian Windhorst.
Oh my god,
he keeps chatting. Even during the game at halftime, he was like, "Oh, the Knicks fans are so upset because the Celtics are getting these. The Celtics have all these free throws." And it's like, and he was like, "Oh, the Celtics are really good at avoiding contact." Shut up.
Yes. Okay, dude. Well, one thing I do to just save myself some, just for my mental health is I never watch any halftime show or pregame show.
I couldn't find my remote because the Roku remote loves to run away when I put it down. So I had no choice but to listen.
But yeah, anybody that tries to take away from this Knicks win is full of shit. Because you know what? Look, did they get lucky in some ways in game 1 and 2? Sure, you can argue that if you want, but that's how it works, dude. Like that's literally how upsets happen.
Luck is always involved.
You need the better team to probably do some shit that's a little bit uncharacteristic of them, and they did. And you know what? I'll tell you why I don't think you can just chalk up game 1 and 2 to luck. Go compare how they've ran their offense these last 2 games versus how they were running their offense in games 1 and 2. Let's just put the cards on the table. Let's call it what it is. This is just a fact, okay? And I'm just going to say it flat out. This Celtics team, they didn't think much of this Knicks team.
No,
they took them lightly. They were arrogant coming into the series. I think they felt that they
were arrogant after game 3.
Yeah, I think they've been arrogant the whole series. I think the fact that when they lost game 1 and 2, you're getting this fat Tuballard on ESPN talking about, I've never experienced a series like this. The Celtics are just like, we're getting everything we want, but it's just not happening. It's like, okay, well, 1, maybe they should try doing something different. And 2, I don't think you're getting everything you want, actually. And if this is everything you want, I'm very, very happy with that.
Take it.
And look, you know they were full of shit because watch game 1 and 2 and then watch game 3. Did they play the same game? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. So clearly they knew they did not take the Knicks seriously in the first 2 games. They did some real vanilla shit on offense that made it a contest. They got caught up in the hack-a-Mitch bullshit. They unraveled 2 games in a row. And the Knicks had to go into Boston Garden and take that from them. They were down 20 in both those games. You cannot tell me that they did not take those games from them because ultimately you have to go take those games. Do you have to ride your luck at certain points? Sure. But they did. And after game 3, what happened? Oh, Jaylen Brown, you have to beat us 4 times. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 times.
I cannot wait to revisit that quote.
And I think Mazzulla's comments after every game have been super arrogant. I think that he clearly does not think much of this Knicks team. I'll say this. I think he thought by doing the hack-a-Mitch stuff in game 1, I think he thought he was going to get under Tibbs's fucking skin. I think he was trying to play mind games with him. And I believe this wholeheartedly because his fucking Lord and Savior is Pep Guardiola, who does the same fucking shit with lineups and comments and all that stuff all the time in soccer. So I think he played himself. I think he played himself in those first 2 games. I think the Celtics got what they deserved because they did not take the Knicks seriously. And then they did
not disrespect your opponents.
And then they did take the Knicks seriously in game 3. The Knicks had a terrible shooting game again.
Who cares?
Sorry.
They did not. They did not execute well offensively. Their defense, as we saw with Cat at various points, was really sloppy. But today, they fought. They clawed. I didn't think their defensive execution was actually bad in the first half for the most part. I just think Tatum was really hot, and it's hard to defend a team as good as Boston cleanly over the course of 40 minutes. You're going to give up some good looks. You're going to get lost sometimes in transition. It's going to happen. But they stayed in the game, and they got individual performances from guys that helped them stay in the game and eventually turn it around. And you know what? I think Boston will look back at this series. And again, obviously the Tatum injury sucks for him and for the Celtics, no doubt. But they're going to look back at this series, and they should be second guessing themselves for the way that they approached games 1 and 2. I thought their arrogance shined through. I thought they took the Knicks very lightly. And I'll also say this, I think they took the Knicks lightly because they clearly don't think much of the Detroit Pistons. So if you're a Pistons fan, and I don't know why the fuck you'd be watching this if you're a Pistons fan, keep that mental note for yourself. But yeah, they didn't take the Knicks seriously. And you know what? Maybe that was justified because all of us were all like, I don't know, hopefully this isn't a fucking sweep. But it's different for us on Twitter and fucking, on pods and post-game shows.
We're fans. We're supposed to do that. You're actually playing against them.
Yeah, I think
I'm not.
Their arrogance, and honestly, their arrogance reminds me a lot of I thought Cleveland approached their series against us in 2023 with a high level of arrogance, and they got burned in that series and deservedly lost. And you know what? If the Knicks win this series, they're gonna have done it because they deserve to win. You don't win a 7-game series by accident. I'm sorry. That's not how it works.
Nope. Also, you play who's in front of you, and whatever happens, happens.
And I don't remember any of this. I don't remember any of this fucking. Oh well, they got unlucky. I don't remember any of that bullshit when Miami beat them in 2023. When Cody Martin turned into fucking Michael Jordan. I don't remember any of that. All I remember was hearing about Heat culture and how special it is, and Eric Spoelstra is God.
Devil magic.
Yeah, that's all I heard. Oh, the greatness of Jimmy Butler. And the Heat culture and Pat Riley, never count the Heat out. Well, you know what? I'm fucking counting them out right now because they're fucking trash now. And I don't want to hear a damn fucking word about how the Knicks are getting fortunate and any of that. Fuck off. That's the most lame bullshit ever. And the only thing lamer than national media guys saying it, fans of other teams saying it, are Knicks fans that I saw trumpeting and parroting the same bullshit. Have some fucking pride. Have some self-respect. Watch the games. There's a difference. You can take 60 shots, 63s, and it'd be a good thing. But you can take 63s and they'd be 63s of fucking ass, which is what they did in game 1. And then they took 43s of ass in game 2. That's what they did. And you know what? I know it because watch games 3 and 4 and look at the shots they were taking and look at how much better and cleaner their offense was and look at how much more diverse their offense was. That's how you know. That's how you know. They played themselves. They didn't take the Knicks seriously. And when you do that, you play with fire and you get what you deserve. And they deserve to lose this series if they do. Knicks still got to close it out.
Yep.
Boston still is a very good team. You don't want to give them any hope here. So go in game 5 on Wednesday, take care of business. And yeah, I mean, that's it. Honestly, the risk of injury is the biggest reason why it's always dangerous. It's always dangerous to just take your opponent.
I mean, you had an OG scare in the first quarter.
Oh my God,
the hamstring. I was like, wow, man, flashbacks to last year's Pacers game. Like, glad he's good though. Glad he's good. And he showed out, hit some key threes.
Yep.
Eshmaster here, one game at a fucking time. The flaws with this team are obvious, but the resilience this team has every game is something that we haven't seen a Knicks team in so fucking long. Keep it going.
Do you think if Minnesota gets to the conference finals, do you think anybody in the world is going to be like, oh my God, but Steph Curry got hurt?
Nope. Except for Warriors fans that are reasonable, who realize that they've had some luck of their own in the past.
I think Warriors fans should just be happy that they get to do the Steph got to the second round, LeBron got gentleman swept argument all summer. They've got that.
They've
got
got that.
And you know what? If they lose this series, nobody can blame Steph. So another win for Warriors.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But yeah, no,
I mean, they're keeping these games close with Minnesota, despite
Well, that's because Minnesota's offense is literally like fucking
dog shit.
CTE ball.
It's absolute garbage.
But yeah, they are resilient. They have flaws. I think we talk about the flaws all the time.
A lot.
And at the end of the day, like I've been trying really hard to like not get into shit that we know is already a concern. Like we're aware of the offensive issues, and they are what they are. Like they are what they are. We know that the offense is extremely Brunson centric, that it's ISO heavy, that it can get very stagnant, that yes, teams don't treat Josh Hart like a spacer, and that gives them advantages. We know all of this stuff. Oh, they play drop sometimes too much. Cat sucks at defense. Brunson can be a problem on defense. And despite all that, they're up 3-1 against a team that, for me, I still felt was the favorite coming into this postseason. And they've done it in impressive fashion. And that's with, us doubting players, doubting coaches, the starting lineup, this group, that group, whatever. They've just found a way to get it done. And it's not perfect, but sometimes, effort wins margins win games.
Yep.
The Knicks are battling. They have battled hard in this series. And yeah, game 3 wasn't what we wanted, but games 1, 2 tonight, you don't win those games if you're not a resilient group.
Tom Thibodeau went with Miles McBride and Mitch Robinson for a pivotal 6-minute stretch ending with 1:44 to go in the fourth. New York outscored Boston 18-10 in that stretch.
Yeah.
That single-handedly won us the game right there.
Yep. And again, this is literally why I will constantly say you have 7 guys. You have 7 players. Basically, every combination of those guys, other than starters, has proven to be extremely effective. Shout out the starters for their fantastic third quarter. I was very happy about that. We will salute you. But on nights and in situations where you're falling behind and they don't have it, you can use your bench a little sooner. But I will say, credit to Tibbs for this. He played Cat the entire third quarter. So it allowed Mitch to then have an extended run in the fourth quarter, which obviously ended up being huge for them. So he rolled the dice, I think, a bit, trying to get that. I think he wanted that. I think he wanted Mitch to start the fourth quarter. He rolled the dice. And you know what? Sometimes you roll the dice and you get paid out. So good on him. Good on Tibbs. I thought he coached him. I can't say enough. I thought he coached a great second half.
Knicks currently have the second best odds to win the championship right now, by the way.
Who was the first? OKC still?
Yep. OKC at -105.
We're going to need Joker to do something for us.
Joker, what you got for me?
That's, if we get to the finals, there's a lot between now and then, we're going to need to see the Nuggets. That's what I'm going to need to see. It's my preferred opponent. My namesake, Ashwin, says, at least the extender was our ref tonight. We'll have to deal with him game 5. Came here. Maybe Scott Foster decided to fuck us all night because he knew if he never called a foul, they could never hack a Mitch on us. Maybe that's the long con. The long con by
he didn't do it today, too. Weirdly enough.
I think I think it's weak. I think it's been weak the entire series.
It's so weak.
Especially because you think you believe you're the better team. And rightfully so. Like, I think, gun to your head, who do you think is the better series?
Also, you're the defending champ. So
yeah, you're the defending champs. Like, they were a -900 favorite coming into the series, by the way. -900 favorite coming into the series.
Upset of the year.
So you were the favorite. I think they were the betting favorite to come out of the East. You're the heavy favorite here. Why are you acting like an underdog? Why do you they kept going on about he believes in the margins. I'm like, look, I understand I believe you prioritizing rebounding and all this other stuff. Don't act like the Hack-a-Mitch shit is a margin. That was a tactic that I think he wanted to try to play Mitch.
Cheap tactic.
Yeah, he wanted to try to play Mitch off the floor, and I think he wanted to try to fuck with Tibbs. And you know what? Didn't work on either account. So you played yourself, buddy. You fucking anteater looking motherfucker.
That guy's a meerkat.
He's a lot of animals. None of them.
He is. None of them cool animals either.
H22, can't believe this is my life. Jalen Marquis Brunson, I'm so thankful for you. McAlbridge's apology forms will be sent in the morning to everyone.
Hey, man, Mikal. I mean, between the defensive stops at the ends of game 1 and 2, and then this fourth quarter today, I mean, he's showing pretty well that he was worth, the pick package that we sent out. And speaking of picks,
speaking of picks, the Nets had the 6th best odds. What pick did they end up with again?
number 8.
Hey,
how does it feel to drop in the lottery? We used to go through that every
and there was no sympathy. It was just laughter. It was George Sedano
laughter.
Losing
and you know what? They don't even get laughed at because everyone's so focused on the Mavericks getting the number 1 pick because it was rigged.
Can I tell you what's actually bigger bullshit than that? Because it's like, look, maybe if you get told by the NBA you have to trade Luka, you deserve the number 1 pick. I'll tell you what's bigger bullshit than that. Can the Spurs fuck off? Can they fuck off?
That's insane.
Number 2, really? What are we just? So we just got to make sure Wemby gets a dynasty.
And now they have the prime pick package to send out, whatever they want for Giannis if the Bucks just want to start from scratch now.
Bro,
what?
Get that big fucking asshole out of our conference. Send him to the West, the most overrated conference of all time, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
So it's so bad. You watch their playoff games and they end in these 80-90 score slugfests.
The number 2 seed in your conference was running fucking Fred VanVleet inshallah ball as their offense for the playoffs. Give me a fucking break, man. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Give me a break. Give me a break. That's your number 2 team in the conference. I'm supposed to fucking sit here and act like there's never been a greater conference than this. Fuck off. Give me a break, man.
Every year they do the same BS of oh man, this is the greatest conference ever.
Yeah. Actual good hoops is happening over in the Eastern Conference. Come check it out, buddy. Age 22 also says, OG, my wing demons came through. Yes. Yes, they did.
Dog. That steal to put us up 9 off the Jaylen Brown turnover. Woof. Special.
Yeah. Kevin Pierre, seeing Cat hang his head after every bucket was dropped on his head top merited a benching. Towns at his best Julius impression night. I don't agree with this. I think
Julius is so much worse than that.
And I also I think Cat. Look, you're asking him to constantly switch onto an island against guys like Tatum and Brown and Pritchard and White and whoever the fuck. That's a lot. And you got to remember that in his situation, it's not like he just gets to hang out on offense or something. It's not like he's just some spot up guy or just some token, role man. He has to actually shoulder a scoring burden. And he is, whatever we want to think about it. And obviously we all know what he's not good at defensively and things he struggles with, but he has to play a lot of center minutes, which makes him involved heavily in the action. And they were bringing him into every action. And Doris Burke wouldn't shut the fuck up about it the entire night. But they brought him into the action
a lot of stuff.
They brought him into the action constantly. And, was he perfect? Obviously not. No. But you respect the performance he gave tonight. 23 points, 11 rebounds. I thought he had some big buckets at the end of the second quarter and into the third quarter. So shout out to him. Larry Israel, thank you for the super chat. They said it couldn't be done. They said Tibbs couldn't adjust. They said if the Celtics make threes, they are unbeatable. But guess what? They were wrong. Yeah, they were wrong. So what it is, I felt pretty good about. I think the best way to put it is, whatever my doubts were about the starting lineup, and I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely skeptical about the starting lineup, continuing to stick with it. But I was not worried after game 3 about the defensive scheme because I didn't think that he wanted Cat to play drop. I think Cat was just kind of fucking lost. And, I just feel really good about, is it possible that Boston, look, again, we all know Tatum is hurt. So, even if they were healthy, are we, do I think that they should still beat us in the, a perfect world where everything goes right over the 7-game series? Yeah, they probably should. But I think your odds of pulling off that upset increased tremendously because of the defensive game plan that Tom Thibodeau has kind of landed on in this series. And I will say this, I think I believe before the Pistons series, I said something like, for a defensive mastermind, I haven't really watched us in a playoff series and felt like Tibbs has done real defensive mastermind shit. I know that when we played Cleveland, we held them to like no points, but they were kind of easy to defend, right? Because everybody at that 3 was like, it was like Josh Hart if Josh Hart wasn't good at other stuff. But he is, which is cool. But Okoro is not, and Karis LeVert isn't. So, like, I didn't feel
they had like Chetty Osman too.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like that was like, wow, impressive stuff. I feel very strongly that what he is allowing the Knicks to do, choosing to have the Knicks to do. I thought it was just, again, like we just talked about earlier, his adjustment today to have Brunson stop hedging and challenge him, switch him on to Tatum, switch him on to Brown, live with that. I thought that was impressive. That was really, really impressive. So can't say enough about the game that Tom Thibodeau coached today. He was fantastic. And he deserves all the credit that he should rightfully be getting right now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
JK says McCallum got to feel like dagger after dagger. And go ahead and read. Our fearless leader,
Matt. Initial thoughts on the adjustments to the offensive strategy Thibs made. They didn't take immediately, but I thought the Knicks pretty thoroughly outplayed the Celtics from like halfway through quarter 1.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely would have to go back and watch this. I didn't feel like I think the main adjustment that's been made is simply like letting McCall get more, like running more plays for him, quite frankly, even when Brunson's on the floor, even when Cat's on the floor, just keeping him more involved. And I will say, like, I've been really critical of what I think has been pretty terrible, like, spacing principles from the Knicks. You often see them, like, you have 2 wings standing next to each other in the corner. There are 3 guys in the paint. Somebody's cutting down the lane there's like 2 guys cutting down the lane as Cat's posting up or something. There's a lot of weird shit that goes on. It wasn't perfect tonight. I thought that was a lot better, though. I thought they stayed spaced better. I don't think it's a coincidence they got up more 3s today. What did they end up taking? I know at halftime they had taken 22 and the Celtics had 24. By the end of the game, they had taken, let's see, Boston had taken 48 threes. The Knicks took 34. And this is kind of like what you're realistically not going to win the 3-point attempt battle with Boston. And you should
don't even try it. Don't even try it because like that's what gets you smoked.
Yeah. But this is like 34 is a fine number. 34 is fine. 34, 35, 36. If you're in that range, you're giving yourself a chance. The other thing the Knicks, I think, did a great job of tonight, and something that they've struggled with at various points in this series. I just thought they were better, maybe not on the off. I thought they were better in terms of cleaning up the defensive glass today. Boston only got 7 offensive rebounds in this game. The Knicks had, and they had 24 defensive rebounds. The Knicks had 30 defensive rebounds and 13 offensive rebounds. Mitch's rebounding, I mean, he was ridiculous in that first half when he came in, I thought, some of his offensive rebounding. And, they weathered the storm. They weathered the storm because Tatum was going off. It felt like it was a tie game. The Knicks were up 1, and then all of a sudden you look up and it's 48-35. You're like, what the hell's going on? Campaign, never shoot the ball again. Actually, hopefully should not be playing again.
I have a thought on that because I've seen some fans bring up, in the Pacers series, I feel some people feel like he might be better in that series just because of like the fast pace that the Pacers play at. Maybe him and Shamet get some run in that series. We'll talk about that when we get there, but just hearing and seeing things on the timeline a little bit. In that regard, but yeah, no, Campaign has been he's been very brutal since that game 1 that he had in Detroit versus Detroit.
Kenny Meir says Celtics open game 5 as 4.5-point favorites. Clearly don't think Tatum will play, but also shows the respect they have for the Celtics roster.
I don't have respect for it, so someone's gotta. Man, if you see what Celtics fans are saying about Jaylen Brown right now, man, you would think that they are about to dress up in white robes and march to.
They are about
right now.
They are about to dress up in white robes
and march to his house right now.
Yeah, I'm excited to search Jaylen Brown in my Twitter search once I'm done with this.
It's bad. It's so bad. I feel very vindicated in my calling him corny, though. I'll say that.
Yeah. Ace Bouchard says, I was pretty confident the Knicks winning this one because the Knicks were actually scoring. The only thing the Celtics had going was Tatum half-court heaves. Yeah, I in the moment I was like, bro, are we really gonna lose because Tatum's about to go out for 50? But again, like this is where you have to give credit to Tibbs. Like I think it would have been easy when Tatum was going off to not want to keep switching Cat onto him and changing back and trying to send to help and force the ball out of his hands. And he didn't do that. Like he really didn't. Again, like I just think he deserves so much credit because I know that everything he's doing, like everything he's doing from a defensive, scheme standpoint, is so like antithetical to what he wants. It's not what he really wants, and he's out of his comfort zone. I would like him to get a little more out of his comfort zone with some of his rotations, but I will take the scheme adjustment. It's been great, and he deserves a ton of credit. And also shout out to the bigs, man. Mitch and Kat, they had to hang and get
Mitch
put in
with
situations.
Huge offensive rebounds in that second quarter, especially.
Also, shout out Precious, his one possession. He took a shot, and Tibbs was
he was a -4 in 49 seconds.
Yeah, Tibbs was like, your mistake was that you thought that you should ever shoot the ball.
Dog, you know what's the funniest thing ever? My job had a raffle last week for Teacher Appreciation Week for an autographed Precious Achua jersey.
Did you win?
I don't know yet, but we'll see. That was the only raffle I was interested in. There was like some other like gym membership, but I already get the gym membership because I work at the place that has the gym during the summer, so I get that already. So I was like, I'm just gonna go for the autographed Precious jersey. So you'll know if you see behind me, a Precious Achua jersey.
You gotta wear it on the next post game if you get it. I always believe in you, Precious.
I'm just gonna hang it up somewhere.
Greg Bellotti says, so much better than Saturday. I picked the wrong game to go to. Can't believe this. Let's go. My guy Greg. I know my guy Greg had to make a hike too from Buffalo, so
sheesh.
It's all right.
I felt that Saturday we were gonna lose just because like I felt like the city was like too amped for that game. Like I went outside that day and I was like walking through Manhattan, like literally everyone had Knicks gear on. Every bar was
I did not feel good about that game. I thought that was, but I think in the post game we did after game 3, I said it, like I didn't tweet it before the game, I just forgot. But I was like, I thought game 3 was the game we would lose, and I thought we'd win game 4. And I don't know, it's just how it felt to me. I just did not have high hopes for that game. I felt like it was so amped up. It was like too amped up, and I think they were not. Like they were not locked in the way they should have been. Like it can the anxiety of the crowd almost, I feel like, seeped into their performance of it. But you know what? Look, they bounced back today. They get the win. They break this ridiculous 3-game losing streak we had going at the Garden, and now they just need one more. So, yeah. Anthony says, we're looking at Pacers in Eastern Conference Finals Part 2 last. Was 1997? I don't remember. I don't know exactly what this means. Sorry, Anthony, but thank you for the comment. Sorry, trying to get to some more here. Kofi Amonko.
I was just about to pull that one up.
Yeah, Kofi Amonko Jr. says Josh Hart and Carlton Towns being in foul trouble may have very well did Tibbs a favor in this series, forcing him to play Deuce and Mitch more.
Hey, whatever has to happen to make shit work in our favor, I'll take it. I mean, Scott Foster tried to be the extender, but didn't realize he was giving Tibbs, a little hand up right there. So
Scott is not plugged into the net rating.
No, he's not. He's only plugged into just blowing his whistle. He's fucking obsessed with that shit.
Who was the other ref? There was like the black guy ref. I don't know who it was. That guy was calling absolute ridiculous shit against us.
Bro, they gave us him and Scott Foster in the same game. That's ridiculous.
I don't know what that was about. That was, bro, if I'm Tibbs, I'd be like, look, I'm happy we won the game. Shout out to my team. That shit was ridiculous.
Dog, he doesn't stoop to the level of the Nick Nurses and the JB Bickerstaffs and the Rick Carlisles of the world.
Yeah, but it would be like this would be like a pretty awesome time to do it, because you'd be like, yeah, I know we won, but also we did it while your refs were actively fucking us. So, maybe figure that out. Yeah, it was crazy. I just couldn't believe it. It was ridiculous, the calls in this game.
Marcus Aldridge tweeting during the game, man, it's nice to the mid-range getting some work. That guy's a mid-range god, so I know he was hype as fuck seeing Mikal and Jalen Brunson just cook.
Jordan Bub posted this. This is from Tom Thibodeau. They hit us early, but I love the way we fought back, showed a lot of toughness and more discipline in the second half. And then regarding Brunson, Tom Thibodeau says, no moment is too big for him.
I think I finally have to get the Jalen Brunson jersey. I've been slacking. Still haven't got one yet.
That's wild.
I know, right?
Because you're spending all your money on fucking shoes. Or like parlays.
It's dead because I've been spending all my money on shoes. Shoes and clothes and Amazon carts.
Yeah. This guy's got like fucking 700 fucking Jordans or something over there.
I have like about 60 pairs of shoes, but yes.
Yeah. 700 sounds better. I think 700 is better.
But yes, I get paid tomorrow, so Jalen Brunson jersey will be getting acquired. So,
yeah. Kenny Mira says, I know he was quiet in the second half, but Derek White is so damn good. If you put him on the Knicks team as the fifth starter, the Knicks would be ridiculous.
Dog, that would be literally like basketball heaven for us. But he would instantly lose how to shoot once he got here.
I talked about this with Jeff the other week, but like he was saying, he's like, Derek White is basically like a combination of Josh Hart and Dante. He's like a cross of those two guys, which is accurate. The guy shoots high volume of threes.
Gets rebounds.
Yeah, he gets rebounds. He had a crazy offensive rebound today that I was going to fucking lose my mind if they got a three off of that one. But, yeah, he's a ridiculously good player, man. He's fantastic. I'll tell you who used to be good but isn't anymore, apparently, is Dante, man. He's been rough in these playoffs.
You think Wolves buy him out and the Knicks try to get him? Dog, he has been so bad. Like, he legit can't throw a rock into the ocean right now.
I don't know. It's crazy. I guess for them, it's like you almost take it because you're like, yeah, like I guess like at some point he's going to make them.
You hoping? Law of averages?
I'm assuming this is Abdul Carter that tweeted this. Let's go Knicks. Got to dig deep for this one. He's really ingratiating himself. He picked his number, right? Finally picked a number.
Yeah, I believe so. I haven't really been in tune with anything.
There we go, Dante.
I blocked him. Oh, wow. Speak of the devil. He shall come.
JK says, I love how he gets better as the series goes on. I'm assuming this is about Brunson. This is definitely something that I've noticed about him as well.
Yeah. He starts to read the defenses a little bit better. He knows where he's going to pick his spots, who he's going to attack, certain things. Like, he's just really good at, seeing how this goes. Like, especially, the Sixers series was a prime example of that. You saw the way they were guarding him with those lengthy defenders, Oubre, Batum, and he adjusted throughout the series, and he was able to get those 40 balls off. So, you seeing it with this against the Celtics team, too, how they're defending him, how they're, how they're trying to force the non-switches, because he's really trying to hunt out Horford and stuff. And he's still being able to attack, Drew and White and whatever it may be. So yeah, he really does get better as the series goes on, and that's the true testament of how great he is. So,
and the scoring obviously is always going to be the main thing for him, but I thought his playmaking tonight was excellent. 12 assists he ended up with, I think.
Yep.
I thought he was really, really good. Felt like he was in command of the game. Feel like he knew exactly when he needed to dial it up and get into his scoring bag. I thought he was great. Yeah, he was fantastic. This might be, I know how great those Philly games were and everything.
But considering the circumstances of today,
the quality of the opponent, just everything they're throwing at him, the fact that, quite honestly, our offense puts a ton of burden on him to create advantages, kind of independent of anything else. So he was great. He was awesome. Not much else I can say. My namesake Ushwin says Brian Windhorst is why medical care is unaffordable in America.
Oh my gosh. This is from a Boston reporter. John Larry says, quiet Celtics room. Porzingis was still in his locker. Pritchard spoke to a few reporters and left. White and Brown will be at the podium. Hauser sat in the hallway outside staring ahead.
Yep.
Like a funeral.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Zan. Zan Rosen says, just very simply, Jalen Marquis Brunson. Yes. Shard says all the Celtic starters were plus minus, Mike.
Hopefully we're done with the
Sorry,
campaign minutes.
Good.
No, I didn't. I pulled that one up by accident. My finger just slipped.
But Kenny says, "Are we done with the campaign minutes?" I hope so. We need to be. We need to be. That was the 3 he took. I couldn't believe that. I was like, bro, I would have pulled him out of the game right then. I would have been like, "Are you fucking serious?" He got lucky because I think we got the rebound and then Deuce hit a 3, right? But I don't know what else to say. I could not believe that. I really couldn't believe it. I was like, "There's no fucking way that you are like. There's no way that you're." Like you're taking that shot that you think that's a good shot.
No, he's absolutely lost his mind. Like he legitimately like I don't know what he'd be thinking on these threes, man.
Yeah. JK says only NBA player who deserves the flopper label is Porzingis. A stiff breeze could make this guy act like he got shot. Dude, he was ridiculous today.
Dog, like he didn't go up strong at all, and he was begging for fouls. Classic Porzingis from his Knicks stint. He also really put on the blue and orange today.
Dude, I thought he was embarrassing. He got away with
fans are calling for his head.
He got away with
he's white.
Yeah, well, wins and losses cut through color, I guess. But he had a play today where he's literally bear hugging him. As Towns is trying to get around him to close out to Al Horford. Like, they didn't call that. They didn't get called for a single illegal screen in this game, which is mind-boggling. I could not, like, the first half, I lost track. Cat's third foul. He picks up his third foul. Yeah, it's a bad foul. He picked up that foul because they did not call an obvious moving screen earlier in the fucking possession. Like, it's crazy what they were getting away with. I couldn't believe it.
I tweeted about it, and then I had Celtics fans in my mention saying, why don't they just get through the screens? It's like, we can't touch you guys without it being a foul. It's like, how can we get through get through these illegal screens if we can't even touch you?
Well, they also had the one fucking, like, they called that one on OG. And even the ESPN people, they were laughing at it. They're like, whoa, like, Porzingis is just like, he's just, he's like, looks like an offensive lineman there, like, blocking. I was like, yeah. I know.
No, there was the double doors play with Cornette and Horford just like being lead blockers for the Patriots.
That was crazy. There was another one where I don't remember the exact sequence, but like OG was trying to switch or something, and then Porzingis was just grabbing him, like grabbing his jersey. There was one where Porzingis was posting up, and then you watched him posting up. He's got the mismatch on Hart. Got a mismatch on Hart. He's just holding Hart's shoulder down with his left hand and raising his hand with his right. And then he has the audacity to complain about a foul on Hart. I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. He was embarrassing, and they should be embarrassed just to not pull away in a game that was officiated this absurdly, like, one way is wild. Kenny Muir, Billy Reinhart. I'll have to tune into that. Billy Reinhart is having a complete meltdown tonight.
Yes, because the Nets dropped and then Mikal went frying the Celtics in the fourth quarter. Oh, what a night. What a night.
Is this our Prez? I don't know. Maybe. Prez says, let's talk about Towns' ISO defense. Tatum hit some tough shots, but they didn't fall in the second half. Towns' ISO defense was good despite the made shots. I agree. I thought he did good. I thought he did well. I thought he deserves credit, man. I thought he has arguably the toughest assignment in this series. Because I think they are more inclined to try and hunt him than they are Brunson. That's what it seemed like tonight anyway.
Yeah, no, for sure. They were definitely looking for that matchup.
Yeah. Jordan Bubb says Jokic versus SGA was mid compared to Tatum, or Brunson versus Tatum was
no,
epic.
Definitely. Brunson versus Tatum was just bucket after bucket after bucket against pretty good defenses. Meanwhile, SGA and Jokic are just like shitting on themselves and smearing it on each other.
So is like that. I just gotta say the Thunder. Can we just all like admit it? Like, yeah, they're a great regular season team because they have like 12 guys. They have one top end player. They have one top end player. this idea that they're like loaded with top end talent and they'll never have to make a trade is ridiculous.
Look at J Dub's box scores. 1 for 10, like dog.
He had that random 30-point game, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. Dude, Aaron Gordon, I'm watching the series, I'm like, Aaron Gordon is as good as anybody on this OKC team not named SGA. But yeah. All right, trying to get to some more here. Ace Bouchard says the Celtics aren't a great 3-point team without KP and Hauser. That much has been proven.
KPness was playing though.
I think the non-fucking cancer version of KP is
the non-AIDS version.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with him. Man.
He definitely has something that needs to go to a clinic.
Yeah, can we like keep him away from other human beings? That'd be maybe good.
Yes, please. He's like patient zero for whatever this new thing he has is.
Yeah. It's funny though, as we almost close the series out and possibly play the Pacers, their devil magic is already in play with JB and OG almost being injured. Brunson's just hurt, and he's just going to play through it, and that's just
yeah. That ankle's like both his ankles are pretty fried right now.
Larry Israel, thank you for the super chat again. The denied challenge almost sent me to the hospital. How can you say Hart tripped Brown when Brown never tripped? I don't know. Larry was at the game, Larry, so shout out to you. I assume that it was an enjoyable experience for you and your son. I nothing about that call made sense. If you're gonna, the only thing you could have done there that like wouldn't have been an offensive foul is if you just said it was a no call and gave possession to the Knicks, because I think Brown dribbled it off. Dribbled it off his foot, right, and it went out of bounds. So that was wild. I don't even know what to say. I could not believe it. Sorry, there was a couple of these Brunson ones I wanted to get to. Here we go. This is the good stuff right here. Jordan Blood posted this. Jalen Brunson, captain clutch. The Knicks star has 102 fourth quarter points through 10 games in this playoffs, joining Kobe Bryant. 2001 and 2003 is the only player with 100 plus fourth quarter points in the first 10 games of a playoff run. They're putting us in Kobe conversations now, and not the ones and not the bad ones.
Man, every day he's in like Michael conversations, Kobe conversations, Steph conversations. They almost spent $200 on an 18-leg parlay. That's crazy. That's absolutely madness. I play 4 legs with crazy odds, and I put $5 on it. So there's that. And I didn't have to buy the raffle tickets. I just had to put my name on 3 raffle tickets, and I put them in a cup. And I think my other coworkers actually put my name on some of their tickets because they know I'm a Knicks fan. So shout out to them.
I'm gonna reveal this. We got him on video, folks. He's cheating the system.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I didn't tell my coworkers to do that. They did that willingly because they know how much the Knicks mean to me. I hope you all have coworkers like that out there that know you love the Knicks as much as I do.
Jordan, this is from Kristaps. Tough loss.
Still rocking the orange and blue.
Tough loss. Wanted to come here and get both. And Brunson was unreal tonight. Special player. Yeah, he was. And that's Ian Begley tweeted that. So
something you never were here, KPness.
Sam, let's have a Brunson jersey for a Brunson jersey.
I'm about to buy a Brunson jersey tomorrow.
You better. It depends on when you get it, though. You know, could be a close call here.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Prez, how did you feel when Deuce took that quick trigger 3 in the chucking possession? Great. I felt great. I thought that was.
We need that. Less hesitancy. I'm tired of the Knicks pump faking.
Take more. Keep getting them up there. Mikal, maybe not you though, since your 3-point shot apparently sucks now, except from the corner sometimes.
Why are the Warriors leading? What the hell is this playoffs?
Yeah. Jalen Brunson interrupts first question to send his best to Jason Tatum. Prayers out to JB, man. Good guy, Jalen Brunson. I don't know.
Better man than me.
I have no idea what cons on here, but I'll read the comments.
See, I told you there's people out there that think that Shamit and Payne should get some little more run in the Pacers series if we get there.
Khan says, play Landry Shamet against Indy. Bring me Pacome minutes. The one thing I can guarantee is Pacome will not be playing.
Unless it's a blowout, which the Knicks don't do very often in the playoffs.
Yes.
Knicks got to do heart attacks or not?
Yes. JK says Porzingis loves flopping on screens. He's setting. It drives me insane. Yes, that's like one of his go-to ways to foul bait. And he'll be like, "Hey, hey!" He always does that. I'm like, bro, you're 7'3". Fucking set a real screen, buddy. Wow. This is from Andrew Claudio of Knicks Film School.
This is what I envisioned when we assembled this roster.
Yeah. The Knicks had 152.2 offensive rating in the second half of Game 4. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty hard to beat a team when they're doing that.
Good job, Knicks.
I feel like the Knicks finally had that game that I've been begging for them to like have this offensive explosion. It wasn't the offensive explosion that the Pacers had against the freaking Cavs the other day where they put up 80 in the first half. But hey, I'll take this version if this is what we're going to get in terms of offensive explosion because it's kind of been lacking on the Knicks side for most of this playoffs.
Hawkeye 420 says, you need to get Strahan on the Knicks since these motherfuckers are trying to be an O-line in Boston.
Yep.
Hey, what do you mean? You don't need Strahan. Abdul Carter's here.
He wants to suit up. He can suit up. From Jordan Bub, Jalen Brunson joins Walt Frazier.
The problem is if we sign him, he'll be like spending like the first week of his time here being like, "Hey Pat, you were my idol growing up. I was wondering if I could wear 33 in your honor."
Dog.
Pat's gonna be like, "Bro, I don't know who the fuck you are."
Oh my god.
Pat's been looking extra Jamaican though. He's fucking
really Jamaican.
Yeah. He's in like
really
he's got the whole uncle setup going on.
Yep.
Good shit.
From Jordan Bub, Jalen Brunson joins Walt Frazier as the only players in Knicks postseason franchise history to record 35 plus points, 10 plus assists, and 5 plus rebounds in a game. That's crazy.
Yep. By the way, I forgot to tell you this. The Bansky tweet earlier was just a picture of him attending the game. So he's at the game, picture of the floor, and he said, "They so thirsty in here. Death awaits, just accept it." Okay, buddy.
All right,
death awaits is what I would call that's what I call fucking KD's career decisions.
Yep, especially for the last 5 years. Absolutely brutal. Apparently Nemo got word from Larry that the Knicks did do layup lines after halftime.
Oh, let's go.
Did they? I think they didn't do them during the last halftime, right?
They did not, apparently.
Yeah, the layup lines are the magic thing right there.
Shout out layup line Cal, our guy.
He dead performed after the layup lines too, like fourth quarter. Like
they should be doing them after each quarter, as far as I'm concerned. Zachary Kaliman says, "I think Towns does worse defensively off ball when he has to rotate and think." I agree. I think that's what really gets him going. It almost engages him and Josh Hart for that matter. I think it engages them when they have to defend. When you're just kind of like, "This is your man. We're switching everything. Figure out who you switch on to." But anytime they get the ball, it's a one-on-one matchup. We're not treating this like team defense here. So I think that energizes both of them. I think you get more out of both of them defensively by doing it. Hawkeye 420 says obligatory fuck the Dallas Mavericks and fuck Adam Silver for rigging it for that big market team of all big market teams.
Dog, the formula is very simple that the NBA has laid out. If you have a star that's disgruntled, trade them. You'll get the number one pick if you have your picks.
Except the Knicks.
That method has not worked for the Knicks, but the Knicks have made up for it in other ways.
Like signing Jalen Brunson.
So signing Jalen Brunson for pennies on the dollar. So
and him continuously being like, "I'll actually take no money to do this.
I'll do charity work, actually.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this money back to you. Because I think Mr. Dolan needs it." I did not see that. No, that's fine. Go with this.
Press says, let's talk about Towns' ISO defense. Tatum hit some tough shots, but they didn't fall in the second half. And I think he did a good job of stonewalling him on a couple drives as well, too. There were some drives where he tried to bump into him and get the step back threes, and a couple of them did drop, but they weren't as consistently dropping as they were in the first half, so you'll take it every time.
Yeah, I thought his defense was really good today. For what he is. Like, end of the day, it is what it is, right? You know it's not going to be perfect. You know he's going to make mistakes. But if he competes,
that's all you can ask for.
That's all I'm asking for. And he did compete. And he's competed for 3 of the 4 games in the series on the defensive end of the floor. I don't know what the hell happened last game. But game 1, game 2, game 4, he's competed. He's doing what – I mean, you can't ask for more than that. You can't ask for more than what he's giving you on that end of the floor, really.
Yeah, no, he's been the baseline, basically. Scott Foster is one of the fewest reversals on challenges in the league, by the way. That man won't admit he's wrong. That's a problem. But that bald piece of shit won't do anything about it. So it doesn't even matter.
He's too busy getting his boy Nico, right?
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
Maybe that's why they didn't fire Nico. They're like, oh, yeah, no, we're getting the number 1 pick. That's fine.
Yeah, we're getting another white 6'7" guy to do things with the ball in his hands.
Kevin Pierre. Hopefully, Nickeil Alexander-Walker can keep playing himself out of a contract. We can keep him there. Has he been terrible?
There's a lot of players that have been playing pretty shitty in the playoffs that are up for a contract.
I didn't realize he was playing bad.
It's like very funny, but like not funny for them because like they're losing money. Like Ty Jerome is like number 1 example of like a guy that's lost like all of his goodwill and money.
Dude, Ty
during
Jerome
these playoffs.
Ty Jerome,
so bad.
Are we sure he's going to be in the league next year?
Someone's going to pay him.
Yeah, fucking Guangzhou.
Oh man. Zach Composto says, saw on Twitter only players with 35 plus points, 10 plus assists, and no more than 1 turnover. LeBron, MJ, Drexler, Jokic, and now Jalen Brunson.
Are we sure that Brunson's actually good though?
Is he a 1A? Or is he just he's too short. That's why he can't be a 1A.
Yeah. Also, are we sure that he just isn't totally dependent on flopping?
Yeah, no, he's totally like a dark arts master who needs like 20 free throws a night.
JK says, loved JB tracking those long rebounds tonight. He had an extra gear ending defense positions. Yeah, him and McCall, they really stepped up their rebounding tonight. I thought that was, I don't know if they got called out on it or something. That's something I've highlighted, but they were both on the glass today in a real way. Also, that play that Brunson made where like he kind of like stripped the ball from Tatum and then Tatum grabbed him. That was a pretty incredible play, even though Doris thought it was she's like, that's a clear foul. I was like, I don't think it's that clear. And I wasn't even sure it's a foul, Doris. What the fuck are you talking about here? Yeah, that was good. Jack says, hi, are Twitter comments visible? My brothers, please respond.
Yeah.
On here they are they?
Yeah, they should be.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They just go into the comment stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are seen.
Yes. Jack Coogan says, let's go, Knicks. Jalen Brunson is not human. I agree. Jalen Brunson was fucking awesome tonight. What a game.
Nails. Absolute nails.
John Lurie posted this. I'm assuming this is from some reporter. Joe Mazzulla on how to win Game 5.
God.
I thought their pressure took us out of a lot of our actions and took away our rhythm. We have to fix that for the next game. Cat on Jalen Brunson's second half. Honestly, do we all expect anything less? It gets to the fourth quarter, and he's a bad man. Man, it's special when you get to watch him doing that.
I know Cat was on the bench, hype as shit.
We might get some good footage out of that. Maybe some interesting voice inflections. Oh my God!
Jalen Brunson. He's so funny.
He's so fucking ridiculous. How? What are you doing?
Dog, when he fell on one of the drives, he just slapped the floor so dramatically.
He's like extremely, extremely Dominican.
He's like a toddler sometimes too. Oh my god.
Did you see his face when like they were like helping Tatum off? And they had, I think they went out like the Knicks side. Bro, I thought he was like about to cry or something. Cat. I was like, dude. I know it sucks, but come on, we got a game here to win. Lock in.
Yeah.
Jack Coogan, I struggled to even single someone out tonight from Brunson to do is just fantastic. But Jalen Brunson, number 11, you are the one. Yes, he is. He's special. He's on the Mount Rushmore next for me. Ace Bouchard, not getting Zion was a gift in retrospect. Silver was looking out for us.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, wasn't looking out for the fucking New York City restaurant industry. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they would have been eating good.
This is getting fucking every pizza, like artichoke pizza. You just gotta go there 3 a.m. Zion's there.
Zion Williamson, what are you doing here?
I don't know. This is where I live, actually. Eshmaster, Wolves Knicks finals will be proof that the NBA follows the script.
That'd be a special script.
Yeah, it would be a good script. Only if it ends one way, though.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's satanic.
Yeah.
Jordan Bub, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby are the only duo each averaging 2 steals per game this season. Yeah, look, we've talked so much about the offense. I thought those two in defense were fucking crazy. Mikal was flying around today, man. He was flying. So
OG was getting his hand on balls everywhere. Pause.
Yes, I mean, look, the play that Tatum gets hurt on sucks for him, but that was
there was another play before that where like
he
got like one on Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, the one where Jaylen Brown fouled him, right?
Fouled him.
Yeah, he was fantastic. They're definitely doing a good job playing these passing lanes in general. I thought Deuce almost had one today on that play that ended up with Peyton Pritchard somehow getting a shooting foul
and then passed it to Cat, who then threw it away. But yeah,
well, Cat, that's Cat.
Yep, that's Cat.
That's Cat. I didn't see him. Yeah, he's funny. Young Yuka says, I'm going to call Windhorst a slur. This whole halftime is about Tatum.
Dog, Windhorst is unbearable, dog. He is unbearable.
Why are we getting like game analysis from him now?
Yeah, it's like shut up and be an insider.
Yeah, like your whole thing is to like pretend that like you and LeBron are best friends.
Your whole thing is to stalk these NBA players around like a weirdo, like a fat weirdo, and then write these features on them, okay? That's your job. I'm asking you to analyze the game, okay? Talk about their private life, okay?
Get us the tea, bro. Get us the tea.
Give us their meal plans, because we know you love those.
No, he doesn't like NBA players' meal plans.
No, he doesn't. They're too healthy.
Yeah, far too healthy. JK, is Brunson the best tough shot maker in the NBA? Shea laying an egg in these playoffs. He might be, man. I struggled to.
I mean, Brunson. The way Brunson's able to do it on the biggest stage in the like highest tense moments, like I don't see anyone doing it as consistently as Brunson is doing it every single game. So I don't know. It's tough to really.
I have a good tweet I can read.
All right, here we go.
You have to guess who it is. All right.
All right.
Where do the Nets go now? Barring Giannis Antetokounmpo refusing to play for San Antonio, demanding Brooklyn, and Nico Harrison not including the number 1 pick in talks with the Bucks, it seems that ship has sailed. Tonight's results, combined with last year's, prove that planning to tank away a season from its onset in hopes of securing a top 3 to top 5 pick is a foolish exercise. The Nets' plan for next year is probably the very boring one. Take on bad contracts, focus on internal development of a group without a blue chip prospect for now, and end up with a 2026 lottery pick that could land absolutely anywhere. Teams can no longer look at the draft as a way to find their savior. It's a total crapshoot and an ancillary way to build, not a pre-planned bailout. I don't understand why people are suddenly crashing out about the lottery. Like, you're allowed to actually draft and develop players and not depend on
lottery odds.
Yeah, lottery odds to get your savior in the draft. I'm sorry. Also, if you finish with the worst pick, your worst, like if you finish with the worst odds, the worst you can finish is 5th. So I disagree with that idea also.
Dog, someone said Tatum can't even tear his Achilles without getting hate. He's dead ass 1 of 1. Oh man, yeah. Now Tatum's really getting some hate tonight too, which is interesting.
Tatum's getting hate.
Yeah, people are like saying like he's trying to be like Kobe with the Achilles, and then people also have the picture of people also have the picture of Paul Pierce in the wheelchair too. Like he is getting it tonight. Like
that's ridiculous. Come on, the guy.
I like dunking on Tatum too, but tonight he's got a pass. Jaylen Brown on the other hand, I'm coming for you, boy. Don't you worry, I'm coming for you. What else do we have here?
Cutest girl. Curry wasn't number 1. Tatum was 3. Yes, correct. Yeah, like you can find guys like Jalen Brunson was 33 in the draft. Proof right there. Yeah. OG Anunoby was 23rd. Mitchell Robinson was 36th. Josh Hart was 30th or whatever the hell it was. Mikal Bridges was 11th. You can find good players at various points in the draft. If your organization sadly views the draft as a cure-all to becoming a good basketball team, then it's not a good organization.
Pistons Talk tweeted an hour ago. Oh man, where'd it go? I just had the good tweet from Pistons Talk.
From Pistons Talk. Let's see.
An hour ago, it says never forget the Detroit Pistons took on a salary dump so the Knicks could sign Jalen Brunson in free agency. They're reminiscing on the good old days of Troy Weaver.
Not only did that allow us to sign Jalen Brunson, let's not forget it also allowed us to sign Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah, they really helped us, build the foundation to where we are right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, shout out Nate Duncan.
Oh, God.
Awesome tweet today.
God.
Really good tweeting from Nate Duncan.
I hate that guy.
Really good job selling the NBA product. Just calling everybody that he doesn't like a flopper and piece of shit.
And blocks anyone who disagrees with him because, fascist mind state right there.
Yeah. JK says Giannis was in the team. Yeah, Giannis was in the team. Giannis was 15, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, just
Kawhi was 15. Butler was 30. Draymond was 36.
You'll find guys. You got to do your scouting. You got to have good development. You got you need infrastructure.
The thing is, the Nets, they have 4 fucking picks in this draft. You can move up. Like you can do a bunch of things.
Also, you can just trade them for like guys that are on other teams that like they don't want anymore. That like you can like maybe find something in them.
They should trade.
I don't know.
They should trade us our first back for Precious.
Doug, that would be the funniest shit ever.
Sure, the only spot you can't get a good player is the 8th pick.
Yep, pretty much guaranteed to be a piece of shit.
Yeah. Holiday pregame.
Oh yeah.
No, I think everybody on this team felt the same type of way about the first 2 games, so I don't think that was needed to be said. Okay. Shout out to Drew Holiday for doing absolutely. I was so funny, man. After like 3 games, you're like, oh, Brunson, he just can't shake Drew. I was like, give it time, buddy. I've seen this movie. I seen him fry Drew for 44 points in the Garden, so give me a break. Kenny Mears says Sean Marks is throwing 25 plus at Kuminga. It's such a Marks move. Well, I don't need it. Fuck Kuminga. We need him to do that with our old friend Quentin Grimes.
Oh my God.
That's what we need.
Can he sign both Kuminga and Grimes this offseason?
They have like max space.
Please do that. And then draft Ace Bailey. Please do that.
Is that the Rutgers kid?
Yes. Who everyone said was 6'10", and he's actually like 6'7". And has like the worst shot selection I've ever seen for someone who's 6'7".
David Goodman says Nash should sign Randall.
Dog.
Made fun for them. I don't know. Is there anything else from this game you wanted to touch on before we get out of here? I'm trying to think if I'm sure there's plenty that we'll talk about. I thought Mitch was great. Really talked about him. I thought Mitch was great.
Yeah, no, Mitch was great. Deuce is great off the bench. I mean, the Knicks just have a really solid 7. You're hoping that maybe they can go 8 in the Pacers series if we get there, because the Pacers kind of do run a little bit of a 8 to 9 man rotation given the night and whatnot, and they also have a lot of shooting. So
yeah, Kyle Smith says, "Sorry to your dad, Schwinn. It's all right. He's fucking fine.
He just saw a championship last year.
Yeah,
He's good.
He'll be fine. He also is a fan of the Patriots and the Red Sox. He's seen enough championships for one lifetime. He's fine." John Leary. This is from Billy Ryan. I can just hear the tears through the screen. Knicks NBA Finals and a real path to running the East for years to come, with Jason Tatum's likely Achilles injury, Cooper Flag going west, and Giannis Antetokounmpo perhaps going west as well. Knicks and Pacers, the new superpowers in the conference, maybe.
A new day is upon us in the Eastern Conference.
We'll see. Hopefully the Cavs can sack up here and extend their series a little bit. That game yesterday is just...
Dog, that was insane. 80-39 at halftime? Where's the pride?
I saw that and I was like, I was out. I was at my friend's place just hanging out, and I came home and kind of like I was in the lift on the way back. I saw it score and I was just like, what?
Dog, like the last minute of Pacers buckets was insane, dog. It was like Miles Turner's step back, Miles Turner deep ball, Aaron Nesmith buzzer beating fadeaway too. Like, I was a Cavs fan. I would have thrown my TV out a window.
But I did. I saw the score at halftime and I was like, I'm hammering the Cavs spread right now. I took that at fucking 4 different numbers, man. I was like, this is gonna end up being a fucking 25-point game or something. But they ended up losing by 20, right? So
oh my god.
John Leary's Mitchell playing tomorrow. I don't know. We don't know. He's a game time decision. But I said my guess is he'll suit up.
Thing, right?
Yeah, I think he'll suit up and maybe see how it feels. But I can't see him. I mean, that's it. We'll see. That's it. We'll find out tomorrow. I think he'll suit up and give it a try. And if he can get through the first stint, go for it. If not, I don't think he'll play. Or they'll just sit him immediately. Kind of like what we did with OG in Game 7 last year. Where we're like, hey, dude, take this horse tranquilizer real quick.
And just sit pregame staring into the deepest void.
Next to Leon. And just think about everything you've done. Yes, I saw this.
Yeah.
MW says starting lineup in the second half, 150 offensive rating, 108.5 defensive rating, plus 43.7 net rating, and 1334. And MW says, Schwinn, buddy, look at the lineup stat. I said in the chat, man. Maybe Tibbs was right. I still think that the larger sample of them being bad is not
something to ignore.
Yeah, I think that's just look, he was right. Sometimes you have to roll with your convictions in one-off situations. He did. He gets rewarded for it. All credit to him. Credit to him for the defense, which I think, has been pretty good throughout the series, other than Game 3, which I honestly put most of that on her and Cat especially. But other than that, he's come up with a good defensive game plan, and he's stuck with it even when Boston's making shots. So, that's all I can say. He deserves credit for that. And he rolled the dice in the starting lineup. It came up huge, and he also got the reward of being able to start the fourth quarter with Mitch on the floor. So, coaching is often about feel and how you do it. And yeah, I mean, there was a reason why I didn't lose my mind when he had the starters the same coming into this game. Was I confident? No, I wasn't. But I kind of, knew it was always a possibility that he was not going to change the starting lineup. Probably the more likely scenario. Clearly worked out that way. They had paths to win this game either way. They found them. Cool. I'm happy for the Knicks, and I'm happy for Tibbs, and I'm happy for the starting lineup. Good for them.
Brunson, Bridges, Cat, and OG each scored 20-plus points in a playoff game for the second time. This is the first time 4 Knicks teammates have done this multiple times in the playoffs.
The first one was the Pistons game, right? What was it, game
Yes,
4 or game 3? Game 3.
It was one of the Pistons games.
Yeah. HB Greg, Hart being off because of foul trouble helped us, to be honest. Massively rooting for the Nuggets. I agree. It's our best option.
The Nuggets, Knicks, Timberwolves, Knicks.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Timberwolves are in a dogfight right now, so we'll see.
Yeah. All right. I think that is about it. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description. One more.
Thank you for the super chats.
Yes, thank you for all the super chats today. One more Knicks win is all we need to get back to the conference finals for the first time since I was just 1 year old. So it's been the first time in my life seeing the Knicks go to conference finals, and I would love that and deeply appreciate it. Next game is, when is it? Is it Wednesday? It is Wednesday at 7 in Boston. We'll see what the status of Jason Tatum is. We'll see what happens in that game. So, yeah. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. Make sure.
Shout out to NBC Sports for hiring Michael Jordan.
Yeah, we get to see him shit on today's current product.
I can't wait till the first time he does that, and people will be like, "You don't get it, bro. You played against fucking line cooks."
Line cooks. Oh my god.
You don't understand the stress this puts on the closing out of the 3-point line does to these guys. I wonder who he's gonna shit on first. Won't be Jalen Brunson, I'll tell you that.
No, but probably will be Jim Harden or Jalen Green.
Maybe Halliburton.
Or Halliburton.
I saw Halliburton was fucking tough yesterday after they were up like 40.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Because he was nowhere to be found after the game on whatever day that was, game 3. He was gone. He didn't even stay for the press conference.
Yeah, that's how he is.
Front runner. But yeah. We'll see you guys I might be on for game 5. I don't know. Maybe I'll have plans to go watch game 5 somewhere. I don't know yet. But yeah. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. Make sure you guys enjoy your next day off. With no watching Knicks basketball. And yeah. Good night, everyone. Peace.
Peace.